Friday here, Pastor Dandridge and myself and Mr. Thomas, we were talking about doing our conferences here. And so we had never had a conference. We said, no, we're going to build it right here. God make anything grow any way we want to grow on it. You don't really have to, you got to go to Atlanta, Houston, none of those places. They're probably somewhere, sleeping anyway tonight. They're not busy working, so we can beat them anyway. So that's what it's all about. So you've been really growing and building your business right here in Arkansas. And the sky is the limit. There's no limit on what we're doing. Let's talk about why, okay? Now, our goal and our mission is to help people attain personal financial success, okay? And personal is the key word, okay? Because, it's different for everybody, isn't it? But here's what's important, okay? Personal financial success is simply having enough cash flow to support our lifestyle during our working years and during our retirement years, okay? You see now, everybody has a different amount of money that they desire or need to support their lifestyle. Some people need $2,000 a month, some 5, some 10, some 20. Everybody's got a number, don't they? Of how much money they need to support their lifestyle. But we've all got one thing in common, and that's the fact that that money's got to come from two unique sources, okay? See, during our working years, the money comes from our labor as we go to build businesses and as we go to work every day on jobs. Does that make sense? So that's driving the money. But at some point, we're not going to work. At least that's the game plan, right? To be able to get that same money without working, right? So what you need is a formula that's 10 times your desired annual retirement income. So let's say somebody's making $50,000. I just picked a number. Somebody's making $50,000 a year while they're working, and they want the same $50,000 when they're not working. Okay? So they just multiply the $50,000 times 10, they need $500,000. And then if they get a 10% return a year, which you can get, we can show you how to do that, now you're getting that $50,000 a year forever, but it's not work. That's generating it is actually your assets and your investments. Does that make sense? All right, I just put it together. Now I know where that pink bus is. Okay. Anybody seen the pink bus, the pink mobile store riding around town? Get the pink bus riding around town. That's an entrepreneur. All right, I like that. Raise your hand. She's the owner of the pink bus. I like that concept. Okay. All right, so that's what we got to have. We got to have money during our working years and money during our retirement years. Does that make sense? Yes, sir. And that's what we call personal financial success. So that's what everybody's looking to build. Does anybody volunteer? You want to work forever? No volunteers, okay? So that means everybody's interested in doing this, right? Now, if you're going to get Social Security, then just subtract that from it, and you got to make up the difference. So let's say you want $50,000, you're going to get 20 from Social Security, so that means you got to make up 30, right? Yes, sir. So just multiply the 30,000 times 10, you need $300,000 to go with the 20,000 from Social Security, you still got the $50,000 a year coming in forever. Does that make sense? So that's what we're building. Did you know that idea didn't just come from us? Did you know that that's a godly principle? In the Bible says, God says, Deuteronomy 8:18, I give you power to gain wealth. He didn't accidentally write money. He wrote wealth for a reason. You see, when you have a dollar, when you have cash, that's currency, right? And currency always loses value, doesn't it? In other words, it's like I'm gonna tell you a little silly story, okay? See, it's like if you have a dollar, next year it's not gonna buy as much as it buy this year, is it? It's not gonna buy much. This is currency, okay? But when you buy something that can go up in value, stocks, bonds, real estate, gold, anything like that, now that becomes wealth, doesn't it? So you got to have something that's going to make you some money when you're not working. So that tells us that since God says he gives us power to gain wealth, then that means that he wants us to be in a position one day that we can make a living without working. Does that make sense? In other words, we're supposed to own assets that make us money when we don't work, and then we're supposed to pass those assets down to our children and our children's children. Does that make sense? Everybody with that? So it's an idea, and he wouldn't tell us that he gave us power to do it if he didn't want us to go do that. Am I correct? So that means we can get that done. Everybody get that? So y'all remember the slogan from the greatest president that ever was yes, we can. Everybody got that? Yes, we can. So we can get that done, can't we? Everybody with that? All right, let's say it like you mean it. Yes, we can. Repeat it. Yes, we can. So you can do that. God gives you power to do something, you can do it, right? See, that drove me for years. I was born dirt poor. In a small town in South Georgia with my 5 brothers, my 5 sisters, it rained outside, rained inside. We grew up working on a farm, and it wasn't our farm because my grandfather was a sharecropper, okay? And I'm like, man, we got to do something different than this. This deal is not working. Does that make sense? But so that inspired me to, hey, this situation can change. So anybody can go out and build wealth if they desire, okay? Now, what's the challenge in doing that? What's the challenge in doing that? Let's talk about it for a moment, okay? You know, I say America's like the tale of 2 countries, okay? It's like you're living in 2 different worlds. In one America, on one hand, America's the wealthiest country in the world, okay? It accounts for 25% of the wealth in the entire world. China's not even close, okay? Nobody's even close to America in terms of wealth. It's actually home to 540 billionaires and over 10 million millionaires. And did you know the numbers are growing? Just in the last 5 years, this used to be 7 million, and this used to be 536 billion billionaires. So the numbers are growing. So don't listen to this stuff about the economy's bad, nobody's making any money, everybody's struggling. No, they need to replace all that everybody with some people. You see, because there's 2 Americas going on. Does that make sense? All right, so let's go a little further. So now let's look on the other hand of America, okay? On the other hand, 80% of Americans are struggling financially. Okay? 69% have less than $1,000 in savings, okay? And I remember being in Atlanta at 21, 22 years old after college, and man, I saw, you look at me, I like donuts, okay? So, and I couldn't buy a donut. I was like, nah, this is really gonna change, you know? So a person can really change their financial situation if they want to, okay? And only 4% of all Americans ever attain financial success. So out of everybody that's born, by the time they get 65 or their 65th birthday roll around, only 4 can live on their money, independent of whether they're getting Social Security check or anything from the government or any family member helping. Only 4 out of 100, okay? So the real question is this. We could ask it a lot of ways. We could say, what's different between the first group and the second group? But the real question is, all right, what are we doing here? I probably pushed too many buttons on me. That's unusual. Bottom line is, why are so many people struggling in the wealthiest country in the world? Have you ever asked that question? Have you ever asked yourself, and probably because you're here tonight, I know I've asked myself that question many times, I'm like, what is it I need to do to change my life financially? I asked that question myself for many, many years. What is it that I can do about this situation? How do I change it for me? And that's why MyEcon was created to help people change that, okay? Now, fortunately, we have identified 4 obstacles that are causing people to struggle financially, okay? Let's talk about it. The first one is inflation, okay? Inflation is how we measure the cost of living. Cost of living is always going up, isn't it? It may dip just real temporarily. Gas dipped a few years ago, but it's coming back up, isn't it? Okay? I remember when I got out of Georgia Tech, 1981, the average starting salary for an engineer was about $25,000 to $26,000 a year. When I meet my buddies that are engineers, I'm 57, so they're all in their late 50s, okay? And they're still engineers. They're making $85,000 to $120,000. But that's the same money that they made in 1981. In terms of buying power, we don't buy no more than the $26,000 in 1981. Because you can find a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in Atlanta, Georgia, not one like it, but the same house that was bought for $40,000 in 1981, there's $250 today. A gallon of gas was 59 cents in 1981. You know what it is today, right? So we can go on. So it's the same money. That's inflation, isn't it? So it's an illusion. Just because you get more money on your check didn't mean you got a pay raise. Am I correct? Everybody understand what I'm talking about, inflation? Now, inflation is going to continue to go up. So inflation is bad on one end, but inflation is good on the other end. See, if you're buying a house, inflation is what's going to cause it to go up in value. Is that correct? If you rent a house, inflation is what's going to cause it to go up in value. Am I correct? But if you buy it, it helps you, and if you're renting, it does not help you. Am I correct? Okay, so inflation is one obstacle that we got to come over, and we're going to talk about how to do that in a minute. The second one is high taxes. Anybody ever been frustrated on payday when you look to see how much money they took out your check? Okay? Anybody ever been there? The more you make, the more they take, you know? FICA and all those people, right? Taking money out your check. Everybody understand what I'm talking about, right? All right, so high taxes. But everybody doesn't pay the same amount of taxes, do they? Okay, so we're going to talk about how do we overcome that obstacle. The third one is debt, which is reasonable if cost of living is going up. They take a bunch of money out of the check for taxes. And then we got to buy big ticket items like cars, houses, college degrees for kids, and all that kind of stuff. We're probably going to get in debt. Once you get in debt, you got to pay interest, so it costs you even more. Is that correct? See, in other words, nobody just gets up in the morning and says, put me on the debt list. It's life and the situations that cause it. Am I correct? So this is the kind of things. I don't know the numbers for Little Rock or for Arkansas, but I do know the numbers in Atlanta. You know, you take a typical family in Atlanta that's making $60,000 a year, $5,000 when I use a conservative number. So they're making $5,000, but because of taxes, they only bring home $36,000. And then they got to pay for housing. You know, it's going to be minimum $1,000 for rent or $1,200 for a mortgage, and so the $36,000 went to $24,000. Okay, and that's only a 30-day benefit. They hadn't bought groceries, they hadn't paid the car note, all those other things. The bottom line, when they get through, they're not doing any saving and investing. That's called living paycheck to paycheck. Okay? 70% of the people in this country live there. And you know, some people think that's a race thing. But like I tell people, there's only 35 million African Americans in America. So 69% of the people have less than $1,000 in savings and investments. That could not be all African Americans. Because there's 350 million people in America, there's only 35 million African Americans. So for every African American in this country that's in that position, there's at least 7 people that are non-African American in the same position. So whatever bad happened there, we didn't cause it. Everybody understand? 1 can't dilute 7, get it? No, 1 can't dilute 7. Everybody got it? All right, so inadequate. What does inadequate savings and investing cost? A small issue can be a big issue. You know, a person can get laid off and then 3 months later lose their house if they didn't have any savings or investments. Am I correct? You know, a family member can get sick and then somebody else, you know, lose their job because they couldn't afford to get somebody else to take care of the other person. You know? It's hard to advance your education. Maybe you want to get an advanced degree or learn a different trade or whatever. But if they don't have savings and investment, maybe buy a house, maybe start a business. All those things are tough when you don't have capital. Am I correct? So all 4 of these things, not having these things affect our lives. Am I correct? So we got to overcome them. See, we can't just say it's going to be all right because unless we do something, it's not going to be all right, is it? We got to have a strategy. We got to have a plan. Does that make sense? Everybody ready to do that? So we got a strategy that helps people overcome these obstacles, okay? It's called our personal financial success solution. Okay? We used to help people lower taxes, minimize their taxes, eliminate their debt, and grow their cash flow. Now, obviously, if we got less taxes, less debt, and more cash flow, we're going to be in better shape. Am I correct? All right. Now, we accomplish that through 3 smart cash flow strategies, okay? First strategy is income shifting. The second one, business income. And the third one is passive income. Let's talk about each of these strategies in more detail, okay? Now, the first strategy, income shifting, is extremely important because Americans lose about 1/3 of their income to taxes, okay? But everybody doesn't pay the same amount of taxes, do they? No, so what we want to do is we want to go beyond a person simply getting their paycheck and saying it is what it is, because really it's what we make. Okay, so let's say it's not. It's not what it is. It's what we make. Because we know that a person can affect how much they pay in taxes. So what we do is we show our associates how to shift dollars from taxes to positive cash flow, legally and morally. We're going to even show you how to do the IRS tax book tonight, okay? Legally and morally. 2 methods. The first one is going to be correct tax withholding. The second one is going to be maximize business deductions. Okay, two ways that we're going to shift some dollars and turn it into positive cash flow. Everybody ready to go down that road?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go down that road. All right, first one is correct tax withholding, okay? Here's the reality, okay? Now, some of you got a packet there called common tax deductions. Everybody's got one. Raise your hand, raise it up, and swing around there so I can see it. All right, good deal. Everybody's got one out there. If you don't have one, if you want to see it, just lean over to your friend, your neighbor, and you can look at theirs. Everybody good? Open that thing up to the first page, and it says common, and it says big refund, big tax bill. Okay? Here's the reality. 80% of all employees have too much money taken out of their paycheck for taxes. Okay, have you ever noticed how much money they take out your check for taxes? Everybody knows that?
Yeah.
Okay, have you ever wondered or asked, is there any way that you can change that? Okay? You know, my dad used to get mad with the IRS every day. Boy, he'd be cursing them, or he was really hot. You know, but one day I read the form, and he didn't want to fill out the form. I wasn't going to tell him. You know, back in the day, you couldn't tell him. You know, you had to say, You know? So, but they didn't take his money, he gave it to them. 80% of all employees have too much money taken out of their check for tax. 80%. That's over 100 million people. In other words, almost everybody you know. It affects almost everybody you know, because if you got one person in the household working, or sometimes two, it's affecting typically two or three. A paycheck is affecting 2 or 3 people's lives. Am I correct? Okay, so 80% over 100 million people. Now that happens because when people start jobs, they're asked to fill out a form called the W-4. Okay, in Arkansas, you also got an AR-4. Got an AR-4. They ran that stuff, you know, just give you the initials of the state, right? -4. Real creative, you know? All right, so 100 million people so they asked to fill that form out, but the form has poor directions and nobody helps. So most employees have too much money taken out their paycheck for taxes, okay? Now, when that happens, the employee loses money. Lots of money because of something called ROI, return on investment, okay? See, here's what we got to deal with, okay? Now, this is the whole key to totally changing your life forever, okay? See, most of us grew up in households where we were taught to make money, you need to do what? You go to work. Everybody tell me again. I didn't say. You got to do what? Go to work. Even when our parents said go to school, get a good education, they still was talking about what? Working. They just wanted you to get a little more pay and a little better job. Am I correct? But it was all about work. Am I correct? Even most people, when they go into business, it's still about work because they do all the work in their company.
Yeah.
Everybody got it? So it's all about work. But America is a capitalistic society. Meaning the wealth and the key to financial success in America is making money with money and strategy, not labor. See, they lose money because of something called ROI, return on investment. Now, so when if somebody's taking the IRS is taking $3,000 to $5,000 out of a person's check, so that's $250 to $417 a month. Okay, out of a person's check, 2 months, and then the person is saying, well, I'm going to get a refund at the end of the year, so it don't matter. Well, number one, they're not going to get all the money they took out, okay? And number two, they lose the interest or the return of the investment on the money that they did take out. You see, because when the IRS is investing this employee's money in the IRS's name instead of the employee's name, they're losing the return, right? So if they did that, took out $3,000 to $5,000 a year too much for the employee's entire working lifetime, which could be 25, 30, 35, maybe even 40 years. Am I correct? So would you want someone to hold your money and invest it in their name for 40 years? But that's what's going on. So they're taking that money out, and they're holding on average for 25 to 40 years. Now, in the investment business, there's something called the banker's secret of the rule of 72. The banker's secret says divide 72 by the rate of return on the money. It tells you how long it takes for your money to double, okay? So let's just say we got $5,000 they took out too much, okay? And let's say that they're going to get a 9% rate of return, so the money's going to double every 8 years when they invest it. Everybody with me? All right, so now, if they do that, okay, so we're going to start this when the person's 25. Is that good enough? All right, so they're going to double every 8 years. So when they're 33, the 5,000 has grown to what? 10,000. Everybody with me? All right, some of y'all got pencils and paper, so y'all got to keep up with me, all right? 8 years later, the 10,000, now the person is no longer 41, because they have 25, 33, now 41, so the 10,000 went to 20,000. Okay? At 49, the 20,000 went to what? 40,000. At 57, it went to 80,000. And at 65, it was $160,000. That's what they lost. Because somebody else held their money. That's called return on investment. You see, a lot of people look at the W-4 and they say, well, I'm going to change W-4 to get my cash. That's cool. But there's a bigger picture. See, the bigger picture is what are you going to do with the cash? You see, because if we live in America, we got to own part of America. See, think about it. Anybody ever know somebody who you went to school with, or somebody you know, somebody you grew up with, or somebody you know, and when they got out of school and they went to work, it was much easier for them because they had assets, or their family had assets, rather than having to start from zero. Anybody ever what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay, that's what God is talking about when he's talking about Deuteronomy 8:18. He says that he gives us power to gain wealth. He's talking about having some assets, stocks, bonds, real estate. Okay? Something that generates us some cash before we go to work. Everybody got that? See, we're supposed to have that. See, I want you to say it. We're going to say it together in a minute, see? Say, I'm supposed to have wealth. Everybody with me? I'm supposed to have wealth. See, I didn't say that. God said that. I'm supposed to have wealth. Yeah. And see, let me tell you what happens, okay? See, when you were a kid, if you grew up in the kind of household I grew up in, my parents was like, you got to work. Anybody grew up in a household like that? I mean, they made it plain and clear, whether it was in words, it was in action, that if you was breathing and you were going to stay in their house, or that you were going to have to work. Everybody grew up like that? You got to do some work. You got to feed, clothe, and house yourself. Am I correct? Okay? Now, what if our parents had told us from the time that we was this big, just like they drilled work into us, what if they had drilled investing into us?
All right.
Yeah. What if they had built business building into us?
All right.
You see, that's called capital. You look up, when you go to, if you go to the dictionary and look up the United States of America, it'll say that we are a capitalistic democracy. In other words, we're a capitalist nation before we're a democracy. Capitalistic means that the people own the stock. The stocks, the bonds, the real estate. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Everybody understand what's going on? And so what's happening is because of mean, evil stuff that went on in our community, not because of something we did, but because of mean, evil stuff that went on in our community, we way behind in the asset game. We way behind in the asset game. Matter of fact, some people so far behind the asset game, they hadn't even thought about they need some yet. They never even thought. You know, the first time I understood that, I was in college, and you know, the Lord always blessed me to be a fairly smart kid, right? So I was, you know, only the smartest kid in my class, and they started talking about investing. I'm like, what are they talking about? I didn't even know enough to ask the question, but I learned real quick. You see, that is supposed to be another income stream for us. See, we're supposed to have some assets. See, you ever heard somebody say, well, see, I'm not into all that investing stuff, see, I'm just into cash. See, I just run everything on cash. Well, that's not cool. Let me prove it to us. I got a silly story I'll tell you that you remember for the rest of your life. There was a husband and a wife. They had 2 kids. This is 1955. And the husband got up one Saturday morning and said, honey, we're going to take the kids to breakfast. So he didn't have but $1, but he didn't need but $1 in 1955 to go to breakfast. Everybody have a good breakfast, have money left over. Everybody with that? Yeah. It was 1955. Last minute, the husband said, honey, we'll change my mind. You know, I got something to do. We're not going to be able to go, but we'll go next weekend. And he stuck this $1 in the corner of his wallet and forgot about it. See his wallet, you know? And so this morning, he remembered. Found $1. Not one like it, the same dollar stuck in the corner of his wallet. He said, oh, I forgot to take those kids back to 1955. I'm like not doing what I said. So I know they're grown, but call them up and say, we're going to break. We got $1. But something happened to the dollar. Not one like it, the same one. He lost 95% of the money. That dad got robbed. The whole family got robbed. Because if he had taken the dollar and put it into an investment account of any reasonable value that would get 8% rate of return, the market's averaged over 9 for the last 100 years. And we go back to the banker's secret of the rule of 72. 72 divided by 8 is 9. The money goes every 9 years, right? So if he invested this to put in his wallet in 1955, in 1964, the dollar would have been $2. 73 would have been $4. 82 would have been $8. 91, it would have been $16. 2000, it would have been $32. 2009, it would have been it would have been $64. And today it would be over $100. So when a person said, see, I'm not in all that investment stuff. So I'm just going to operate on cash. They robbing their family. They're not doing it intentionally, but they do it. They're destroying their family. They're destroying what God said we were supposed to have. God said we were supposed to have some wealth. And if God said I'm supposed to get something, but you better believe every day I'm going to be trying to get it.
That's right.
All I need to know is how I'm going to go get that done. Does that make sense? If God said you're supposed to have it, see, because our kids need it. See, when they get ready to go to college, we're not supposed to get a loan. We're supposed to write a check. When they get ready to get their first house, they not have to try to get a down payment. They need to inherit it. See, do you know new days come? Do you know things change sometimes in life? And a new day is here. See, when I started teaching this stuff back 20 years ago, people, oh, you'll never be able to get people to learn that. I'm like, well, that's silly. And I'm so glad that God didn't die and leave other folks in charge of us. You can have wealth in your family, and we're going to show you where to get the money. Every day in MyEcon, we show people how to pick up an extra $200 to $800 a month, have some cash, and they start investing. Everybody here that ever changed your W-4, raise your hand. Wave your hand. Let me see. Okay. See? All right. You see. And let's give Mr. Thomas a big round. He got folks around here investing too. Hey. See, we getting it done. See, it's got to be a new day. See, at some point in life, you can't keep asking folks to give you something. You just got to go get what God already gave you because He granted it. You everybody understand what we're talking about? All right, so that's the first strategy, and it's called correct cash flow. That's going to give us some cash. Now let's go get some more cash. Everybody want some more cash?
Yes.
Everybody say more cash.
More cash.
All right, let's go get the cash, okay? Now, and see, the cash is already here. You're already working for the cash. You already got the cash, but you're getting robbed because you didn't know how not to get robbed. Do you know you don't need no 38 to rob nobody? Oh, you need a tax form. All right, let's make it happen, okay? So the next strategy we're going to do is business deductions and income. Start a business. See, there's lots of ways. See, if anything we should have learned from this last presidential election is that everybody don't pay the same amount of taxes.
Right.
We should learn that. Am I correct?
Yes.
All right. So now, since we know everybody don't pay the same amount, then the next question is, well, how can I pay less? Does that make sense? All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to start a business to lower our taxes and get some extra income. See, there's two reasons for doing that. Number one is business owners have access to, really, we got more up here, but it's hundreds, it's over 400 deductions that employees don't have access to. over 400, okay? Plus you have the ability to even earn additional income. Secondly, this is the great part right here. Many expenses employees routinely spend money on, if the employee became a business owner, those things would be tax deductible. In other words, you're already spending the money. See, some people say, well, I just can't afford a business. No, you're already spending the money. We're just going to give you back your own money. Everybody got that? All right, so let's go talk about how we're going to do that, okay? See, when you work a job, they take out the taxes, and then you get to live on what's left. But when you own a business, they give you all your money. And you get to deduct expenses, and then you get to live on, and get to pay taxes on what's left. So you get all your money, you live, and then you get to pay taxes on what's left. Let's look at some of those expenses that we're talking about, okay? Number one is car and truck expense. Anybody got a personal vehicle? Okay, is it free or do you spend money on it? All right, now if you got a personal vehicle and you start using that vehicle in your business, if you drive around Arkansas, whatever, 10,000 miles a year, and you pay for gas, the vehicle, etc., no expenses, you just all on you. Whatever you spend is gone. But if you start a business and you start using your business, you start using your vehicle in business, now it becomes partially tax deductible. You say, how am I going to use that in business? Well, here's one way you do it. Okay, let's say that you start a business, okay? So now you got a website, you got a business, so you go to church on Sunday. While you're there, pass out a card to somebody. Say, look, I'm a business owner. I want you to check out my site. I can't give you this one. The gentleman just gave it to me. Say, I want you to check out my website because next Sunday, I'm going to ask you how you like it and see if there's anything on there that might interest you. Now, hopefully, they're going to say, what kind of business is it? You say, well, we show people how to save $3,000 to $5,000 a year on tax and turn that to $300,000 to $500,000 by investing in asset leveraging. So, but, I'm going to get back to you. Check out the website first. You attempted to do business, so your trip was now tax deductible. If that was 5 miles, 10 miles, 3 miles, whatever it was. Does that make sense? Yes, you're going to the grocery store, you're walking through the line. Okay, you have to go to the grocery store to buy something, but, you need to make your trip deductible, right? So you walk up to somebody in the store, you walk, or you get a clerk, and you say, hey, I'm a business owner in town, I want to give you one of my cards. Hopefully they're going to say, what kind of business is it? You know what I just told you. Everybody got it? Basically, everywhere you go, you're going to market your business. Does that make sense? Yes. So now you're going to be able to write off the expenses on your vehicle. You can do miles at about 57 cents a mile. It don't cost you 57 cents to drive your vehicle. Everybody got it? So it's going to make you some cash flow. Or you can take off a percentage of things like gas, oil, tires, maintenance, insurance, lease payments if you lease the vehicle, interest payments if you got a note on the vehicle. That's why at the end of the year they send you a 1098 that tells you how much interest you paid on that vehicle, just like your house, right? Because if you got a business, then it's tax deductible. Everybody with me? Yes. All right, we got to hurry along. Now, so you're going to spend this money anyway. Am I correct? Right. So now, if you get a business, you're going to have the ability to build your business, but you're going to be able to write off some of these expenses that you're going to spend money on anyway. Everybody with me? Now that just makes sense anyway, doesn't it? Okay? So if you spend the money and you don't have a business and it costs you $5,000 upkeep, whatever, on your vehicle, you just spent $5,000. But if you got a business, now part of the $5,000 is tax deductible. So if you made $50 on your job and you got $5,000 deduction, the government say you made $45. Now, let's go further with this, okay? See, this isn't something that anybody can learn this. We teach it right out of the book. You got some great trainers here. You got some great trainers here, they teach it, okay? See, when you see an entertainer, high-income entertainer, high-income ball player, they making $10 million. So they do the exact same thing. They say, well, I can give the government 40% right now, give the $4 million, or I can go buy me a plane since I wanted one anyway. And now everywhere they go, they're doing business in that plane. Or, so now that plane is tax deductible, right? So now they took some of the money that was going to go to taxes and bought their own private plane. Everybody got it? Everybody see how the game is played? But it's got nothing to do with how much money you make. it's got to do you have a business and are you trying to build your business? Everybody with it? If you're with it, clap twice. All right, everybody with it. I got it now. All right. So let's go further, okay? You do the same thing with your cell phone. Internet access, computers, tablets. We spend money on those things, right?
Yes, sir.
So you start using it for business and make them partially tax deductible. Same thing for travel. Sometimes you're going to family reunions, sometimes you're going out of town for church events, sometimes you're going out of town for vacation, sometimes you're going. No matter when you go out of town, talk to somebody about your business and make it what?
Tax
Deductible. That's what we're talking about. Next one is what? Meal to the attain. Anybody having a Super Bowl party? Who's inviting over to the Super Bowl party?
You know you can come.
All right. Okay, we got a Super Bowl party. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, we always socializing in some way, right? Yes, let's say you got a graduation for your child graduation. So you're gonna do a party. You can pay for it, or get the government to pay for it. Anybody want to know who want to pay? You want the government to pay, or you want to pay?
Government.
All right. So here's how it works. You put a little card, you know, on the invitation, or put a little card, you know, when all your guests come in. And on that card, you have your business done. They say, now this is being sponsored by my business. So we're not going to talk business today, but I need everybody in the next couple of days to go check out my website, because I'm going to call you up in a couple of days and see if you want to save some money on taxes and start building your assets. See, do you know what we're all supposed to be doing? Building assets. We're not supposed to work every time we get over.
No, sir.
No, God told us he gave us power to do what? Gain wealth. The wealthiest people in the world ain't doing the most work. Somebody said, well, wait a minute now. What am I doing with all this information? You're talking about wealth building? Oh, it might take you a little while to learn how to do it. But you can build wealth. So you can start building some assets and changing your life. Anybody ever had some change happen in their life since the time they were born? Everybody raise your hand, because everybody changed since the time you were born. So you can change your financial position. You don't always have to live paycheck to paycheck. Okay? You don't always have to have just enough to get by. See, I was born poor, so I know. I was poor, and everybody I knew was poor. As a matter of fact, there's a guy in my hometown, that lives in Atlanta now. When he found out, because I didn't tell anybody I was wealthy, you know, and so when he found out, he said, well, how did he get to be wealthy? He was the poorest guy in a poor town. And that's true. See, the principles and God's blessings will make you wealthy. The principles, did you know anybody do the principles get wealthy? Anybody do the principles get you wealthy? Now what happens, you give them this so you can write off that event. See, most of us have gone to an event, or some social event that a business paid for in our life. See, now you're the business owner. See, the key is you just got to start thinking like the business owner instead of the consumer. So now you want to write that off. The last one is wages for your children. You can hire your children to help you in business. They can post stuff on social media. They'll probably be better at that than you. They can wash the company car, which will be your car. They probably won't be worth the flip of that. You probably have to find if they do that, right? See, let me give you an example. Did you know that if you was going to spend, let's just say $3,000, make the math easy, right? You know, if you made $4,000 on a job, okay, you didn't have a business, the government's going to take at least $1,000 for taxes, right? 25% you'll get to take home $3,000 and spend it. Am I correct? All right, so if you was going to spend $3,000 on your child in a year, it cost you $4,000. Because you had to make $4,000, so the government can take 25% for taxes, right? And you have $3,000 left over. That's the way it works. But if you hired your child to help you in business and paid them $4,000 for the year, the whole $4,000 is deductible. It doesn't count on your income. So if you made $50,000, the government say you made $46,000. But now, since the whole $4,000 doesn't count in your taxes and it's tax deductible, you can spend $3,000 on the child and you keep the $1,000. Now, how about do that for 20 years, from the time your child is 5 or 6 until the time they get out of college? And what if you invest that? Let me show you what you can do. You know, some say, well, I don't know about a lot of sophisticated investment. Well, what if you just bought your rental property one every 3 or 4 years? In 20 years, you'd have 4 of them. And the renter will pay them off, right? And then somebody's going to say, yeah, but how are you going to get renters? Well, don't you know there's millions of people out here renting? They ain't going to just stop paying rent if you're the landlord versus somebody else. You can change your life financially. I'm just bringing the message, but God the one said it. All right. Now you changed to W-4 and you got some cash. You went in and you started trying to build your business, so you got some taxes up. Okay? So now you got some cash. Now what are we going to do with it? We're going to shift some income again. We're going to start making money with money. Everybody got it? We got to, because our money has value, doesn't it?
Yes.
See, when the bank when they opened up the bank, they didn't want to make sure your money was safe. They wanted to get your money and make the money with it. When Ray Kroc opened up McDonald's, he wasn't concerned to make sure you got food. No, he wanted to get your money and make some money with it, because your money has value. So if everybody in town know your money got value, then you got to know your money got value. Am I correct? And we got to start making some money with money and not with just labor. Is that correct? Everybody with me on that? Yeah. All right. So we got $600. Okay? So we're going to take this $600 and we're going to use two examples to shift some revenue. We're going to shift some cash flow. Okay? The first one we're going to invest. We invested $7,200 a year. 15 years, we got $200,000. 30 years, we got $900,000. That's $600 a month. What if it was $1,000? What if it was $1,500? See, this is where your ticket to financial success or even you become a millionaire. See, this is the difference. This is money that you didn't even have before, and all you used was strategy. This is the difference between retiring at 65 and traveling and having fun, or the difference of going to work and getting a second job. This is the difference between being frustrated, having to sit there and listen to somebody half your age tell you what to do on a retirement job, okay, versus traveling and having fun. Does that make sense? Let's finish up real quick, okay? Now that's just one example. Let's take another example. So we took that $600 that we didn't have before that we got with strategy and we turned it into something, right? All right, let's do it again. Now let's get rid of some debt. Okay? In this example, we got a car that's got a $17,000 balance. So they already been paying some. They're paying $545 a month. It's going to take 32 months to pay it off. So we add the $600 that we got from strategy to the $545, send the car company $1145, pay it off in 15 months. So we say 17 months of $545, that's almost $10,000. Money that was going to go to somebody else's kids. And did you know that money never stops working? Let me give you the power of it. Remember that rule 72? The bank is secret. Everybody remember that rule? Let's go back to it again. Everybody ready? Let's make this mistake when you're 25. Let's pay the $10,000 worth of interest when you're 25. So let's pay the interest. What happened to the money? The interest. It went to somebody else, right? So they took the money and they invested it, and they got the 8%. Am I correct? $10,000. Am I correct? Okay, so they got the 8% on your money. So every 9 years, the money is going to double in their name. Am I correct? Yes. And that happened at 25. So in 9 years, in 8 years, at 33, the 10,000 turned to 20,000. At 41, it went to 40,000. At 49, it went to 80,000. At 57, it went to 160,000. At 65, it was a $320,000 mistake. You see how I got wrong? See, we got to stop that. So you got people in America every day talking about let's change something, let's change something. I said let's change the economic, everything else will follow. Yes, sir. See, people make these mistakes every day. They don't know about it. So they're 25 and they say, well, I just got to have a car. So they go buy one, bad credit, 29% interest, and lose $10,000 at 25 that was really $320,000 because that made somebody else's kids wealthy. And then 25 years later, we tell our kids, honey, you can be anything you want. And they can, but it's not a fair race at that point, is it? It's not a fair race. Then we took the $11.45, so we got this paid off, put on an $8,000 visa. $200 a month, we was going to pay 78 months. That's 6 years and 6 months. We paid off in 6 months. So we saved 72 payments of $200, $14,400 cash. Then we took the $13.45 and paid off a $200,000 mortgage in 79 months instead of $360. See, now you're making money with money. See, we didn't talk about network marketing yet, did we?
No.
No, because you don't have to do network marketing to do that. All you got to do is change your mindset and say, you know what? My family's finances are going to change. That's what has to happen. Now, if you do that, which ain't got nothing to do with network marketing, if you can't recruit nobody, if you can't sell nobody, you can do that. That's just a decision. We paid off $225,000 debt, 8 years and 4 months. We saved $332,000 of interest payments. That was going to be our fortune. You know that those scriptures in the Bible say that the lender, that the borrower is servant to the lender. That's what we're talking about. See, when I read that, I said, well, we done with that portion done. I said, ain't nobody got no money. I'm a borrower. Once I read that, I'm like, we done. We're done with the borrowing. That's over. Freed up over $2,500 a month. See, we can do that ourselves, can't we? Now, if we doing this, if we shifting our income, and see, no matter what level you are, if you're making $25,000 a year or $250,000 a year, you can still shift your income. And it works the same for everybody, because if you're making $25,000 a year, you got less debt. Because you can't get for so much debt on so much income. Am I right? If you're making $250,000 a year, you probably got more debt. So it's equal for everybody. Everybody can do this. Now, when we start shifting income, we get that done the second month you're in MyEcon. Sometimes the first month. We're going to change your W-4, get you some cash. Then we're going to become income shifters. And then we're going to build a business teaching income shifting. That's our business. And if you're doing it, you can teach it. See, if you're doing it, you can teach it. Could you imagine our church of 500 people shifting their income? And do you know, in 2 years, 3 years, instead of going to other folks' restaurant on Sunday after church, they go to their own restaurant? And see, we're not talking about some possibility stuff. We already did this. We already did this. I used to live in Tacoma, Washington, just south of Seattle. And we did this at our church. Paid off and built a restaurant. So we're not talking about maybe possibility. It could happen. No, it already did happen. So we're not talking about somebody might get debt free. We already have people here in Arkansas get debt free. We already got people here in Arkansas investing money. We're not talking about some possibilities, maybe so's, could be. It already did, and it's going to be more of it no matter who participates. Because the time has come.
All right.
The time has come. It's a new day. That's what he said. All right. Now let's go build us a business. See, there's a saying in business. You want to break business? Identify a need or a problem. Create a solution, and you got a foundation of the business. Identify a need or a problem. Create a solution, you got a great business. Well, we identified the need and the problem. Americans need some money. And specifically, we need some money that we don't have to work for. Am I correct?
Right.
We need some money and we need someone to work for. That's the need and the problem. Am I correct? And we create a solution called MyEcon and Income Shifter. So we provide all of our associates with a world-class business system. So you ain't got to create it. You ain't got to build a website. We already got the trainings, and we increase it more and more every day. We got the systems. It's mobile. You can do it on your cell phone, your tablet, your computer, create your videos, bring on more leadership, bring on more talent, create everything we need for you to build your business. Our number one product is our financial success membership, where we take our strategies and our concepts and we put it in one membership for our associates. So they're going to get the income shifting strategy. I know you're an expert on that already. We just talked about it. You get software that comes on your phone, tablet, or computer where you can keep up with all your records. Okay, cash flow management, debt elimination, all your tax records right there on your phone. We got identity theft protection in there. Okay, all of it comes with the membership. Okay, we got free and discount legal services. So you need a will, you need somebody to look at something legal for you. We got it in there. We got credit education in there that's going to help you improve your credit score. We got rid of our other credit problem because I want credit system because I want all MyEcon folks to get a free credit system. And then I want them to be empowered to know how credit works. See, credit can rob you. Bad credit robs people.
Yes.
Okay, so we want to build good credit. Does that make sense? And then discount travel and corporate perks. So all this comes in the membership. Now that's just for our associates right there, okay? Now, then we got other discount products and services that we sell to the general public. And that's a powerful strategy because we just put them on the website. All you got to do is just refer people to your website. No inventory, no shipping, no customer service, or nothing, okay? We take care of it for you. We got the ID Defender. That's the identity protection product, okay? That's retail. Ours is just $7.99. The competition is $9.99 to $29.99. Same service, okay? Same service, and you get paid commissions on it. If your identity gets stolen, we'll provide an expert to spend up to $1 million to help you restore your good name. We got the cash flow management software on your phone. We got travel with just about every major corporation out there. We got nutrition and healthy beverages. That's coffee, tea, nutrition. See, what we do in our product strategies is we take any product that's doing well in the marketplace and we put it on our website, and then when somebody comes to you and say, well, we know we got this new product, I want you to remember 2 words. Me too. If somebody got a hot product, they're not going to close Walmart. Mm-hmm. They're just going to put it on the shelf and say, me too. So you got a downline, you got a marketing team, they come out with a new product, they're going to put it right there, and that's over. So we can stay competitive. We got a cashback mall with 1,000 stores and millions of products. Just about every product you can name.
Everybody will come at me too.
You know, I always go to the men's warehouse and buy myself. When I go shopping, when I go clothes shopping, I go clothes shopping or shoe shopping, I'm in the store 15 minutes. You probably tell that, you know, but I just like, I want a blue or a black or a gray. I already know the shoes I want, I'm in there 15 minutes and I'm out. So I went down there last year to buy some shoes, and they messed up my order. And I buy the same shoes every year. Same brand, same color. I mean, it's pretty simple, right? They messed it up. Okay, they said they was giving me a deal at $198 plus tax. I don't know what the deal on. That's what they told me, so I buy it. I'm in there 15 minutes, I'm done with it. I ain't got to worry about that. They messed it up, so I said, okay. I looked online on our mall. Same shoe. $87. Free shipping. No taxes. They lost that business. That's why Mason is closing 68 stores. Online shopping is big, and it's only going to get bigger.
Yeah. Yes.
Walmart, when we first started doing online shopping 10, 12 years ago, you go down there and you get a house. Now they got a line waiting on it. They said, come on, we want some online shoppers. That's the new trend. Does that make sense? And see, you can be in that business. Now, so all you got to do is refer people to your website. They buy, save money, you get paid. We got a world-class compensation plan. You can, after just 2 people in your business, see, I want everybody in MyEcon to have the opportunity to make money. 2 people, or either $200 worth of product sales. And this could be $200 on your own. You can get up to 100% of sales volume generated on your website. So if somebody book a cruise, somebody book a hotel, I got the embassy suites for $67, and I got a $14 commission. Okay? So you get some good deals, right? That's what it's all about, okay? All right. You give up 85% on your team sales. But you don't have to recruit anybody if you don't want to. See, at MyEcon, we ain't going to browbeat you to recruit. Okay? You don't have to recruit anybody. You can lower your taxes, eliminate your debt, and grow your cash flow without ever recruiting a person. Now, but there's two reasons that I think you should recruit people. Number one, you can help a lot of people. See, there's a lot of people out here. Maybe your sister, maybe your cousin, maybe your brother, maybe your uncle, maybe your niece or your nephew, co-worker. They're never going to get any financial help unless you help them. The bank's not going to come over to their house and tell them to please get out of debt. The government is not going to send an agent to their house, put them in the headlock, throw them down, and say, let me show you how to lower your taxes. So you got family members and friends that's been struggling all their life. And they don't know how to get out. See, that's what motivates me. I told the Lord, I said, if you show me how to get some help, I'll tell everybody. Because I like talking. I'll tell everybody. And see, you know some people that need help. All you got to do is refer them to MyEcon. Now, if you do that, if they decide to become a marketing director and the government's going to pay the bill, you'll get a $50 referral fee. If they refer somebody, you'll get a $25 referral fee. And if that person refers somebody, you get a $25 referral fee. To infinity. Unlimited. And a $500 bonus every time 7 marketers join your team. This leg in Arkansas, I was in Chicago 25 years ago. And so I invited some ministers to lunch. There's about 100 of them. And so I brought them all lunch, you know, and they was all good guys and ladies, but they just couldn't see finance. But there was one guy that was from Arkansas, Forest City, Arkansas. And he was one of the pastor's drivers. And he said, can I get in? So he got in business with me. I didn't see him for 5 or 6 years. 5 or 6 years later, I was in Atlanta. He called my office. This is probably 12, 13 years ago. And he said, I'm down in Forest City. I need some help. I said, okay, I'll come down in there. So I went down, helped him start business. 2 or 3 years later, he was walking out of the credit union here in Little Rock, and Mr. Thomas walked by and saw his shirt. He said, what's that all about? Now that's grown into a $6 or $7 million a year business just from one little investment. See, here's what you got to understand. See, sometimes when in certain communities, on one side of town, if you make money on other people, they call you a hustler. But on the other side of the town, if you make money on other people, they call you a genius. And see, it's not important that you convince everybody that you know the difference. It's important that you just don't let them convince you that you're wrong and you understand that they just don't know what they're talking about. Because anybody that get wealthy on other people. That's what capitalism is.
That's right.
When you paying rent, somebody getting wealthy on you. When you paying your credit card bill, somebody getting wealthy on you. When you go shopping, somebody getting wealthy on you. When you put money in the bank, somebody getting wealthy on you. When you go to work, somebody getting wealthy on you. See, ask yourself in the first person, who's making money on my money, my time, my effort, and my education other than me? Lots of people, the city, the county, the state, the federal government, your employee. Everybody gets some of your money, make money on you.
That's true.
And you ain't got but one thing you can say about it. When are you going to start making money on other people? So you have no say-so about whether they make money on you. They're going to get some on the last day. Just as you leave in here, they got a big whopper for you. 8, 10, 12 hours. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So are you going to make money on other people? See, people are going to leverage you. You have no choice because you have to live. We live in a capitalistic society. But are you going to put the principle in your family and start making leverage and residual income? See, we might have to change our thinking a little bit, don't we? But if you do, you can change your life. If you change your thinking, you can change your life. Now, once you get a team, you get unlimited residual income because you'll have people buying products, selling products, using the software, and you'll be getting paid $5 to $10 residual income every month. So we talked about two strategies in conclusion. Number one, income shifting. You can start making some cash, can't you? Just rearranging what you already got. Even if you can't recruit anybody, if you can't sell anybody, all you got to do, only person you got to convince to do that is you. Okay? Then we got business building. So you start doing that, you just refer people to the system, you start making some business income. And that brings us to the last one, the one that the Lord said we're supposed to have. Passive income. Because wealth generates passive income. Wealth generates passive income. See, we're supposed to have wealth, and we're supposed to pass it to our kids. And our kids are supposed to manage it and grow it and pass it to our grandkids. That's the way it's supposed to work. We're not supposed to have to work for every dime we get. Our kids are not supposed to have to work for every dime they get. Our kids are not supposed to have to start off life in debt. Passive income is generated by stocks, bonds, real estate, private businesses, anything that will generate income without you working. So a person can start with $25, $50 a month, start putting money into a money market. Once they get $2,000 to $3,000 in there, then they can step up to a mutual fund. They can step up to an annuity. It's all kinds of investments. We'll teach you the different terminologies and strategies. So you can get started building that asset. You see, because here's why. At some point, everybody is going to desire or need passive income. But here's the reality. When most people need it, they don't have it or don't have enough of it. And we don't want that to happen to anybody in MyEcon. So we want to change our community. We want to totally change it. So we teach our associates, we empower our associates how to build passive income. We teach in terminology. We teach strategies. And then we have a culture that encourages and motivates everybody to become an investor. And investing is not a complicated business. Investing is not complicated. It's no more complicated than reading this, than understanding what they talk about in the sports page. When they talk about touchdowns or interceptions or kickoff. It's the same. It's just a terminology. So once somebody explains to you, it's not difficult at all. See, think about this. What if you were investing $500 to $5,000 a month and watching your assets grow? And so there's been plenty of people that's been in a position in their life at some point that they had an extra $500, but they bought a consumer item instead of an asset because they didn't really know they were supposed to. They didn't understand the value of it. Does that make sense? So here's the reality. Millions of people desire more financial success. But to get it, most people need more cash flow, better financial strategy. If you're one of those people, you're in the right place at the right time because MyEcon's personal financial success system is the solution. So here's the bottom line. You get back with whoever invited you. They're going to take you to the website, show you around, answer any questions you may have, and give you the opportunity to sign up. When you sign up, you'll get the income shifting strategy, world-class cash flow management software on your phone, tablet, computer. You'll get identity theft protection, free and discount legal services. All this is in your membership. And we have training, ongoing training, right here in Little Rock. We have it every month. Am I correct?
Every week.
Every week, okay? Okay, once a month, okay? And that's all over the country. So you can send people, network all over America like that. You're also going to get our credit education to help you improve your credit scores. You'll get discount travel, corporate perks. Plus, my favorite, you're going to get our business system that's going to allow you to refer other people to start making money in the business. See, when you start referring other people to this business, you start to make money beyond you. So you don't have to be good or great to make money in business. Sometimes you can get people in business with you that's much better than you, and they make you more money than you could have made yourself. That happens all the time. Okay? And then the last one, my favorite, is you're going to get tax benefits that's going to save you more money than it even costs you to get in business. In other words, the government's going to pay the bill. So think about it this way. If you save $3,000 to $5,000 a year on taxes, even if I was more conservative and you saved $1,000 to $1,500 on taxes, and it costs you $500 a year to run your business, you made a profit even before you made money in the business. And since you were not going to have the money anyway, the government paid the bill. Am I correct?
Right.
So let's say it together. The government pays the bill. One more time.
The government pays the bill.
See, when people say, I can't afford
Who
it,
paid the bill?
they don't understand. Y'all have fun tonight? Yeah. Y'all learn some stuff?
Yes.
But I'm going to stay right here. If anybody's got some questions, I'll be glad to answer.
Awesome. Wasn't that awesome? Because it's packed, feel free. Those of you who have guests, if you want to ask Mr. Stokes, come on up and we'll kind of move along for this tightened space. But there's plenty of space outside. Leaders, where are you? Raise your hands. Come to the front. Those of you who have questions, they'll be able to help you out with those questions as well. Give Mr. Stokes another round of applause.
You want to give away some coupons tonight? Anybody want some coupons? Anybody want coupons?
Yes.
All right, so we want five $50 coupons. We want 10. I don't. They're not to me. Which one you want?
10.
Coupons. So you get with Candace or whoever it is. You get to them, and then we're gonna get you 10 coupons. First 10 people get a coupon. So instead of $129, it's $79. You get in, you get the full benefit every day.
Good.
All right.
Yeah, as you can see, it's a packed room. People are willing to learn. I just got one question. Like, who ready? There's a lot of people that I've been hitting up about it on my timeline, commenting, viewing right now. So my question is, are you ready? So for MyEcon people that are viewing, you can drop something real quick on these comments, man, just to let the other people know this view that, hey, you need to get a part of this and be a part of this. And let them know why. Let them know why real quick. It's one thing to hear from me, but it's one thing to hear from somebody else. What's up, Tracy? What's up, Kendra?
Why are they doing the training next?
John, Monica, Connie, Angela, Lana, the rest. People let my people in. I need somebody to drop some knowledge real quick on these comments and educate people. I know Ivey Stokes, you drop a whole bunch in a bucket of nuggets. I need one of y'all to say something, man. Get these people to really understand why you need to run, man. You see this crowd of people? This is like a community of people, a movement of people that want to build wealth. And listen, you don't have to have a job to learn this stuff. You don't have to have a job to take advantage of learning about taxes and finances and building wealth. You don't.
Hey, brother, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I ain't seen you in a while. What's going on?
I know. Still working. Doing my best, brother. Hey, let's do it.
You made it out. Are you not sleeping tonight? You know something like this?
Yeah, my guy Kevin.
I'll be right back.
How you doing?
You made it out. Let me see.
I know I got a little bump going. Thank you. We know each other.
Y'all do?
I'm Jarvis' cousin.
What up, brother? You gonna say something to me real quick? Hey, how are you? Good. Good to see you again. What's going on? What's going on, everyone? You got me on Facebook Live right now? No, I'm on. Hey, let's slide by real quick. Okay. All right. So, man, if y'all missed it, like, y'all missed it. Like, I don't even know what to say right now, Kim. I really don't. Like, my mind is so blown, and it's not just about people being here, it's about the people that's here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, can you show them, like, the people that's here just trying? Look, Letitia done hopped in. Look at it.
We've been working.
We've been working.
All right.
So, what I'm saying is this, like, you all, people watching right now, you still waiting for, like, something to change. And you seeing the trajectory of where the nation is going. I'm going to say the nation so I can be politically correct.
Right.
So, if you don't want to follow that, what are you gonna follow? I would much rather follow someone that's been doing this for the past 30, 40 years, building wealth, worth $600 million, a black man at that, soon to be the next black billionaire. There's not too many of them out there, but he's in a room with us teaching us strategies. Y'all gotta get it. Like, y'all missing it. If Trump don't pay taxes, why you paying taxes?
Hey,
that's all I got, kid. I can't say nothing.
That's enough. That's enough. Hey, he just said a mouthful. You know what? I'm about to mingle and get with these people, man. Y'all seen it. I went live just for y'all, so y'all can see it firsthand. So, man, you know what? I'm out. Shout out to my current business partners, man. Shout out to y'all. We finna build this movement, man, to keep building. We doing some good things and change the economy. Hey, how you doing? You know. So I'm out. Everybody have a good night. Hey, if you're ready to build, hit me up, inbox me. I'm ready for you.